outside. So it's really cool.
Another week of Wellness Mavericks. I'm so excited for today's topic. I'm really excited and very curious, actually, what you got for us, Michael, today.
I,
I have
I got some good stuff.
a little bit of expectation, but then when I saw the title of the reel that you made, I was like, wait a second. He may have
And
actually found something out there.
yeah,
He may
I
have
was
found
doing some
something
research and
interesting.
found some other things.
Nice.
So I mean, it's like, yeah, it's gonna be good. I'm excited.
I'm really excited. Ready to listen and
Well,
learn.
we'll kind of just hop right in then.
Do it.
Do you have a question, Gemma, to start us off? Do you have
Oh
anything
my goodness.
about gut health or anything like that? If not, it's all right.
Okay. What do you think gut health is, and how do you think you support it every day? Because I think
What
we don't really have a unanimous consensus on what everybody thinks gut health is. Everybody has a different perspective. So, answer personally, what do you think gut health is, and what do you think you do every day to support it?
good? Who wants to go first?
Evelina looks ready.
She does.
Um, I guess to support like gut health, I've started doing like olive oil shots, like with lemon juice and some
Mm.
cayenne and cinnamon. And then also aloe vera juice. Because a lot of those things also help H. pylori, which is one of the things that I'm healing from. But I think like daily, it's just like being mindful of like making sure you're incorporating healing foods to your gut and minimizing toxin and yeah, just like whole foods. So I
Mhm.
think that's what I would say.
Do you think this season of life is making you learn a lot about your health or your gut or your nutrition and stuff like that?
Oh, for sure. I feel like everything is just like surrounding like my gut health at the moment, like everything. So
That's so cool.
yeah, yeah.
That's a beautiful season to be in. It's not
Hmm.
forever. And it's
No.
such a beautiful for to learn for the first time all of
Hmm.
those things about what you're sensitive to, what makes you excited, even if you're on a diet plan. You
Right.
learn the recipes that you're like, oh my God, I love this, even though you have
For sure.
restrictions.
For sure. And it's just like it just becomes your lifestyle. It's not even like,
Yeah.
you know, it doesn't become like sacrificial because it's just like becomes like who you are and that.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
I think that's plays a big role into it.
That's so good.
Understanding the value behind what you're doing, I think, plays
Yeah.
a big role.
Hmm.
Then it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle because there's
Exactly.
value, and when you resonate with that value, you align your
Hmm.
life with it. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. I love your answer. Aloe
Thanks.
shots are very popular for gut health. We have a lot of our clients in King's Design doing aloe shots.
Let's
So
go.
Wow,
I was like, oh my God, she's doing the thing. So it's cool to hear.
that's really cool. Wow, I don't think I've ever done one.
Aloe shots, give it a go.
I don't think I've ever done one.
I mean, I don't know if it's super essential for someone who doesn't need it, but there
Right?
could be some therapeutic benefits.
Who knows?
Michael, you want to go? Or Eli?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I'll go quick. I think it was what is gut health to me.
Yes, what
Is
does gut
that the
health to
first
you?
part?
Yeah, what does gut health mean to you?
I mean, so I'm gonna go into a lot of stuff today because I kind of actually know some things, so I can't like, give it all away. But I mean, I think it's just basic. Like, I think a lot of things are correlated to gut. I mean, I know they are. So I think it's just all around immune function and health. Like, if you a lot of issues people have stems from the gut. Like what we eat and what we put in our body is so important. And so a lot of stuff stems from the gut. So to me, when I think of that, I think of like like input and output. Like what are you putting in and what are you getting out? Because it's not like you put something in and it's like a big question mark mystery. There's a result,
Hmm.
you know, after everything you input,
Hmm.
food, music, people,
Yeah.
environment, exercise. It's all input. What result you get is it's not a mystery. It aligns with what you allow in. So that's what I would say. And then what do I do? There's a lot of things I do. We're going to talk about some things I do today, but so I guess I actually won't share those yet because that's kind of like the theme of the call. I'll hop in after, but
Okay, cool.
I'll
We'll
give the
leave
first part away.
the second part of the answer to later.
Yeah.
Eli, what do you got for us? What does gut health mean to you? Uh-oh, I don't know if he can hear us. I'll answer for myself. So, you good if I answer? Or are you gonna go? I don't know if you can hear. Okay, well, I'll go. Um, Gut health to me is kind of like what you mentioned, Michael, of like it's the way the music we listen to, the people we're around, the food that we input. It's the way we communicate with the world what we want more of or what we want less of. It's like
Mm.
if you eat mushrooms today, you're gonna crave mushrooms in a week. How did that happen? It's just the way your gut works.
Mm.
And I, once I understood, started to learn about the gut, I was like, oh my God, my body's brilliant. And I just trusted it. I happened to trust it from a very young age. I trusted my body more than the pharmaceutical industry. And it just so
Right.
happened that was the case for me. And when the more I started to learn about my body, it aligned with what I was already experiencing. I was like, okay, so I am in tune. Okay, so I do know what's connected. And so gut health for me is like the way I communicate with the world, the words I choose to use, the people I decide to have around me. When I tighten up my gut health, and this is so interesting, like right now, I'm going through a little bit of like a sinus congestion, mucus buildup. It started with some soreness in my throat. I had a fever for one day. I had a tiny stomach bug issue. And right before this happened, I had a very big confrontation moment with a friend of these are my values, this is what I want in friendships, this is what I'm expecting in the world around me, this is how you're affecting me, this is how I feel. I don't want you to change and because of what I'm telling you, but I'm telling you where I'm at. And right around every single time I have some kind of like confrontational state my values moment, or state my experience moment to the world in relationships and in business, my health takes a like it's not like my health takes a hit because I don't feel worse. I actually feel better with recovering. I feel better than I did when I was well last week. But it feels like my body purges some version of
Mm.
myself. And then on the other side, I'm like, I meant every single word I said, and I'm really happy I stood up for myself. So that's what I think like gut health is to me. Yeah.
Wow.
And I
That's
just find
super
it very
deep.
interesting to reflect on when was I sick? Why was I sick? What did I do right before? And it's
Wow.
really frequently correlated with relationships and standing up for myself. So,
That's super interesting. And I fully believe that. That's pretty cool.
yeah,
Our
yeah,
bodies react. It's
yeah,
true.
yeah. Frankie,
Eli, do you have something?
or
Or
yeah,
Eli?
Eli,
Yeah.
sorry.
Or Frankie. Either way.
Yeah. Sorry, I was on the phone with my dad. I don't know if you guys tried to call me the first time, but yeah, I think I kind of relate with what Gemma stated. Gut health is definitely like what's going on in your world, and then what is affecting, well, how is the outside affecting you, right? I mean, a big moment in my life was when I was in high school. And I just didn't like anything around me. I didn't like what I was doing. I didn't like the school I was going to. I didn't really care for the friends I had. I was around a lot of negativity and mediocre people. So in result of that, I had a lot of issues with my stomach. I had IBS, and I would like just have a lot of issues there, and not a lot of things could heal it. And I think it wasn't until I got away from that situation, I removed myself from those environments, that it got better and that it became less of an issue. So I think it's definitely more so emotional, and because I mean your gut tells you what it definitely can help make your decision. I mean, it's like your instinct is like, people when they get nervous and then they like rush to the bathroom and like, blow it up.
Yes.
That's like one thing too, right? It's like it is definitely so deeply tied with your emotion and your experience and what you're doing. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I fully
definitely.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
That's so good. It's so true. I'm going to talk about some stuff like that and go into a little more of that today. So I'm glad you said that. That's really good, Eli.
Frankie, the question is, what does gut health mean to you? Like, what do you think it means? How do you see it relevant in your life? Like, what do you do to participate in it? And what do you think you do every day to support it?
Hmm. Well, I feel like there's two types of ways I could go about this because I was just barely getting out of the gym when I heard what you were saying, Gemma, talking about how you kind of got sick after putting up those boundaries with your friend, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's definitely like where like that gut feeling that we have, right?
Hmm.
I'd say I'm pretty in touch with that, but as far as like my physical gut, um, what I do to take care of it daily is I try to have fermented foods. So I do kefir, I do sauerkraut, usually just like a bite with every meal, or at least I'm trying to do that because I think my body just naturally has a hard time with breaking down what I put into my system, especially chemicals.
Hmm.
And so it's just nice to have that extra support,
Hmm.
enzymes. But then also I can totally relate to what you've said, Gemma, about kind of getting the sore throat, like putting up your boundaries, speaking your truth, right?
Yeah.
Uh, every time I get sick, I feel like it's always a sore throat or like a stuffy nose for whatever reason. Those are
Yeah.
like my two problems. So it's
Yeah.
nice to hear I'm not the only one. But I just think it's really cool too. One more thing. Um, when Eli was talking about how our bodies like when you feel nervous, you go to the bathroom, you blow it up. Like there's a lot of truth to that. Like our bodies, I think it's cool. Just this community we're a part of. It seems like we're all really in touch with our physical
Mm.
and emotional selves. Because one of the questions I ask all the time is like, why am I so emotionally aware and I struggle with all these things, but my other friends who don't really prioritize this in their lives, why do they seem to be doing fine? Like,
Mm.
why did they not seem to have problems? And
Hmm.
I was talking to my mom about it, and our family friend who's super into energy and is like a healer in that way. And she's like, they just avoid, they're very avoidant of that. So they haven't addressed it at this
Hmm.
point. Like, we're doing it really young. It's going to show up later in their marriages or when they're like 40 or 50. So, anyway, it's just cool that we're even talking about this. I was just
Yeah.
thinking about this today with my friends. So, my family friends.
That's wild.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that's super interesting. That's true.
I love that.
Yeah, like ignorance. It's like ignorance is bliss till it's not.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good.
That's good.
Thanks, Frankie.
Yeah.
All right, take it away,
Well,
Michael.
yeah, with that being said, let's hop right in. I got some notes. I don't know. It looks like a lot of people are driving and doing things, but if you have notes, there's gonna be some good things. I'll keep it super simple. But I've done a little research and I've found some cool things kind of that I knew about my lifestyle already. I wanted to make it, kind of relatable and something that I've experienced, but then also like, put in some studies and things like that into. So we're gonna go over things. So this is why is your gut making you tired? Right? That's kind of just like a broad statement. And then three hidden problems no one talks about. So I'm gonna list the three problems right now, and then I'm gonna go into each one. So the first one, right? These are problems that need to be addressed, or however. So I'll explain them. So number one is proper sleep. So there's three hidden problems no one talks about: proper sleep, actually cutting out stress, and not just cutting it out, but managing and dealing with oxidative stress, which is like extremely important. And then high energy, so getting rid of low energy. So essentially, to boil it down, it would be sleep, stress, energy. These are three hidden problems, right, that a lot of people have that aren't being addressed, that no one's talking about them. And I'm going to link it all links back to gut. So everything I share right now, the cool part about it is they all like work together. Kind of like with everything we talk about, it's all very synergistic. Like everything like works together. And if one's off balance, you can kind of look to the other one. It's super interesting. Um, we'll talk a little bit about leaky gut and some other things, but first let's talk about um let's talk about sleep. So this is number one here. So um let's see. So maintaining consistent sleep and wake times. And just to clarify here, like everything we're talking about, these three different things, sleep, stress, and energy, are all going to help you get a healthy gut. That's obviously, I kind of assumed you guys would, get that. But just to clarify, in case I didn't make that clear, like this is all for a healthy gut, and the issues that you could have if you don't have a healthy gut um, are not good. And I'll talk a little bit about those too. So this is all for having a healthy gut and just a healthy lifestyle and just really crazy, interesting things, like very simple. So sleep, maintaining a consistent sleep and wake time. And right now, just to like one more thing before we really dive in, this isn't about getting it perfect all the time. This is about like majority. This is more habitual. I don't always nail this. I don't always nail any of these, but I do consistently enough to where it works, right? This isn't really a perfection deal. This is like a habitual long-term thing, just like with anything. And we've been over that. Everybody knows how that works. Stacked wins, stack things stack. So, as much as you can, maintaining that consistent sleep and wake time. Gut mobility is regulated by the circadian rhythm, right? So waking up, right, when the sun's rising, right, going to sleep or toning things down, dimming the lights, candles, blue light glasses, red light on the phone as the sun's being set. It's all your gut mobility is linked and regulated by the circadian rhythm. So if you're off of that beat, your gut isn't going to be as mobile, right? And if your gut's not as mobile, it's not going to be able to process and do the work it needs to do. Things could get backed up, clogged up, whatever that looks like. There's certain things that happen, right, when we get that proper sleep and we are aligned with the sun and we wake up and go to sleep, kind of in those times. And so gut mobility is regulated by circadian rhythm, which is super important. So it's absolutely vital to keep things moving, right? To keep a healthy gut, you need to keep things moving. So that's just a really simple thing that can happen. And so if you're off of sleep, right, and you're not allowing, for that time to properly heal in your sleep, a leaky gut issue could occur, or even if it already is there. This is the crazy part. If you already have a leaky gut, it will make it so that your sleep isn't restorative. So like, I'm going to go into more detail so that makes sense. But if you already are having leaky gut issues, the sleep that you would be getting to restore everything that's happening won't be doing its job. During the night, this is really interesting, you experience a glymphatic flow. And this is where your cerebrospinal fluid washes your brain and removes amyloid, waste, etc., endotoxin, and bacterial component that leaks through your gut impairs this flow. So essentially, during the nighttime, there's things happening. Your brain is getting flushed out and washed and remove some waste, all that stuff that like does that cycle. And so if you have a leaky gut or you're having these issues and you're not allowing your body to sleep, you're not going to be able to restore these things. And so sleep is like super important. I know it's talked about a little bit more than probably out of all these things. It's probably the one that's actually talked about more, which is not even talked about that much. But really getting on a consistent sleep and wake time. When you wake up, we'll talk about sunlight in a little bit. So the inflammation drives many of these symptoms. So the breakdown of the intestinal barrier or leaky gut is a common underlying factor in digestive issues that exacerbates, I think I said that right, exacerbates inflammation. There it is. Everything mentioned above is crucial for managing inflammation and maintaining the intestinal barrier. But some foods that specifically target inflammation include, so this could be like meats in bone broth, raw milk, orange juice, vitamin C. And that's all pro gut mobility, kind of like what we talked about, vitally, it's super vital, keeping things moving, right? And then some tools that I saw to enhance gut mobility were actually coffee, vitamin C, cascara, and magnesium. And so, I do drink coffee
What
here
is
and there. I do.
cascara?
So I haven't done a whole lot of research on cascara specifically, but that's what it mentioned.
Oh, how is it spelled?
It's Cascara.
Okay,
I figured one of you guys would kind of know what that is.
I'll look it up.
But obviously magnesium, vitamin C, coffee, things like that.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Continue.
What are you saying?
It's in the short term, it's a laxative plant for short-term relief of occasional constipation. It contains natural chemicals called anthraquinones that stimulate muscle contractions in the intestine to help move through the bowels, to move stool through the bowels. So it just helps work out the it's like improving circulation just the way that coffee does. That's
Wow.
really cool.
Yeah, I actually just got some airdrop to me
Really
from a supporter locally.
nice.
Cascara sagrada bark herbal supplement. Thank you, by the way. This is cool. So yeah, maybe I'll have to do a little more research into that.
No, that's really cool. I'd love to learn about that. I've never heard of the herb.
Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, anywho, coffee, vitamin C, magnesium. So yeah, so that's the biggest one right there. I hope there was something, and all this stuff is to kind of get you guys started to like looking into these things. This is kind of like the overview. And so I hope that there's something in there that kind of, stirs you, and then you can look into it and see exactly how you could implement that. But sleep, the bird's eye view here is that if you get proper sleep on a consistent basis, as much as you can, it's going to be super beneficial for your gut. That's the bird's eye view. So now we're going to move to number 2, which is cut out stress, or deal with stress, oxidative stress. We've talked about this a little bit before, but oxidative stress can build up, and it's really bad for your gut. It will destroy your digestion. We talked about kind of just like some examples that, literally at the beginning of this call, we didn't even, I wasn't even planning to hear about that, but it's just crazy because it's true. Like there's things that will really happen. And sometimes it's hard to deal with those things. Sometimes you have to remove yourself from those environments, but I've heard a lot of different stories. About just like crazy things happening to people's guts and digestion, and just like, all these crazy things that happen because of stress. Right. And so dealing with that, it can be a tricky one for sure. Solving it can be a tricky one. And I think ultimately, depending on each person, it will vary. But just some things that I practice day to day, going on walks, right? There's nothing easier to do, I don't think, than just going for a walk, right? And if you can, barefoot, but if you can't, just going for a walk in silence, you've got the sun beaming in your face, and even if it's cloudy, you're still out walking. And so I'm just going to be talking about a couple things that I do. So yeah, like when I can, I definitely ground. Every time the sun's out and I can, I get in the sun, right? If there's a moment where I can just look into the sun, sunlight exposure is so good for your gut. It's actually critical for gut health to have vitamin D. This was really interesting because I didn't know this, but some studies, I found some stuff on here, and some studies suggest that sunlight avoidance is as risky as smoking cigarettes. That's crazy. And then another study, well, it's not a study, it's a statistic. Insufficient sunlight exposure is linked to about 400,000 deaths per year. And it's like, well, who's talking about that? That's crazy. So, I mean, if that doesn't like convince you, I don't know. So I try and get in the sun every time I can, every moment I can. I think there's a lot. Maybe we'll do another topic on sunlight, but people who are scared of the sun, I think, is a really sad, unfortunate misunderstanding with sunscreen and all these other crazy things they've invented. And they've, these like skin cancer things and all these things. Like skin cancer is real, but there's like a whole lot that's causing it. It's not talked about. And it's just a whole lot of other things. And so I think that there's this like lie that the sun is terrible for you, but it's actually a healer. It's like it's a doctor. The sun is so good for you. And so anytime you can get in the sun, you're just imagine yourself like your gut is being like healed and properly flushing the way it needs to. It's critical for gut health. And so, yeah, like I said, solving stress can be a tricky one, but I think, no phone, silence, sunlight, going for walks, journaling, praying, whatever it is for you. Those are some things I do. And then I think another thing too, like just simple, like practicing gratitude and thankfulness. I think that's just a very simple, like, if we're talking about how like a negative person or a circumstance could affect your gut, then how will your own mind affect your own gut, your thoughts, right? I really believe that our words have power and our thoughts have power. There's been plenty of studies about, blanking on the name, it's a Japanese scientist with the water crystals. I'm sure we've talked about that before. I think it was Miraso Emoto or something like that. But words do have power. And so I think that if we can practice gratitude and thankfulness, like just as another thing to do, everything's linked. And so if your input is positive, then that's you're going to be your output as well. And so to cut out or to deal with stress, I think having thankfulness and gratitude, right? Just those simple things are super healthy. And you wouldn't really think that would be linked to gut from like just thinking about it or looking at it. You would think, okay, what foods could I eat? Think about some other things, but I think that it's overlooked. Like just like having like a thankful mind for what you do have, practicing gratitude. I really believe that would change a lot. And so, but everything goes together, the sleep, the stress, the energy, it all goes together. And so, like I said, it can be kind of tricky to solve that, but it is possible. And I think just being intentional about it and really going after it, it's kind of one of those things where if you start looking into something and you're determined to figure out your issue, you'll find an answer. I think, and I believe that for most things. So I hope this stirs something for you guys to take it to the next step and really look into something. And if you have an issue, like hopefully this is just the surface and this is the floor, not the ceiling, essentially. So we'll go to number 3 now, to energy, specifically high energy. So we've talked about adrenal glands, we talked about adrenals and things. And if you went on those calls and you want to learn more, you're more than welcome to go on our YouTube and watch those videos. But that is super interesting. Adrenal glands, there's a whole lot relating to poor sleep, caffeine late in the day, crazy amounts of sugar intake that are just leaving people just essentially like high and dry, like just totally out of it to where they need caffeine or they need these things, energy drinks to pick them back up and then crash and then it's repeat every day. But essentially that's wearing out your adrenals. We're not talking about that specifically today, but this could have a link to it. Next thing is so energy. If your metabolism is poor, good luck digesting anything, right? So if you don't have energy, right, if you're not putting the proper food, the proper sleep, the proper exercise, those things in place, good luck digesting. I mean, really, like you can't expect your body to process and do things if you're not giving it what it needs to do those things. So what do you need energy for? Stomach and acid production, digestive enzyme secretion, gut mobility, immune function, maintaining a balanced, good bacterial environment. So, yeah, it's all linked. Like to have high energy, you need to get good sleep. To have good sleep, you need to burn energy. There's just a lot of it all like links. It's funny. It all like links together. To get good sleep, you also probably need to deal with oxidative stress, right? So everything's kind of like linked together. It's super fascinating. Some things for high energy, like nutrition wise, good, other than good sleep, there's, B vitamins, protein, red meat, fish, liver, chicken, eggs, raw dairy, real fruit, honey, true, real whole foods. You got things like pumpkin seeds, almond, walnuts, hazelnuts. We've had plenty of conversations about healthy food, so I won't go into all that stuff. There's plenty of other videos we have that you could look back on, but I think that just like eating those real whole foods is like a good outline for high energy. Working out, right? Moving your body. Competition is also something that I think we miss these days, especially for men. Competition is huge. Competition will drive energy. Competition will increase testosterone in guys. It will, it's really positive. And I don't think it's a bad thing for women either. I just know for men, I've heard more about it for that kind of competition. And so, moving. There's the whole thing of like, if you're not moving, right? Like if you're not moving your body, you're going to lose out on those things. If your body's not breaking down, it's not going to replenish where it doesn't need to. So, going to like people when they retire, older folks, when they retire, a lot of people die like very shortly after. And it's not because they're like old that's part of the reason, but it's not because they retired. It's because they stopped working and they stopped using their brain. And, a lot of people will just sit and watch TV or just maybe do simple things. And you lose like that focus in your head and you lose like the drive and you're not working as much and there's not a whole lot going on. You're not moving as much. And that's when people die. But there's other people that retire and they keep working, right? They find other hobbies and interests and they work and, family and events. And it's a different season of life. I'm sure I've never experienced, but I'm sure it's different, but they still like keep learning and growing. And it's the same thing with our body, like working out, like we need to like keep moving or we're going to lose what we have. And so like we have such young, like healthy bodies, right? We need to like move. We need to move, even like if it's just like a walk, like, or stretching. Like right now I'm in a season where I'm moving and I'm about to get a new gym membership, but I've been like definitely definitely lacking for sure in the working out stage. But I'm still going for walks. I'm moving. I'm eating healthy regardless. I'm stretching. So it's like it's not ideal, but this is a short-term season. And so even if you're so busy, just going for a walk, right? That's so good. You're moving your body. Like, and there's studies on like brain scans, like dopamine and like um even on like stress, on like dealing with oxidative stress, of just like the benefit of going for a walk. Like brain scans, like 20 minutes of sitting still, and then the brain scan of 20 minutes into a walk. And it's pretty crazy. If you guys want to look that up, it's pretty wild. Um, so anywho, um, energy flows where there is a lack. So if you're like pushing yourself in the gym, your body's going to replenish, right? And so if you want high energy, you need to like use what you have, and then you're going to be replenished, right? And you replenish with good food and good sleep. And so, yeah, I would just encourage you guys to use your bodies to push yourself. And there's such a mental win in pushing your body. And um, yeah, there's so many benefits. Um, and it will deal with, I mean, working out is good for dealing with stress. It's good for getting high energy and building muscle. It's good for getting good sleep. So I mean, that's literally everything we talked about. It all links back to like having a good gut. So yeah, if I could break it down for you guys, I would say focus on sleep, deal with your stress, and find gratitude and thankfulness, and find a way to cope every single day. um and because we all have things, it's just the reality, big or small. In this season, we all have seasons where things are bigger, and seasons, they're smaller. So we're all going to have to learn to deal with things, and we might as well do it now. And then high energy. And how do you get high energy? It's good food, good sleep, dealing with stress. All right. If you're like constantly stressed, you think you're going to have that high energy, it's all sucking. The energy is getting sucked away. So, like, literally everything here is like correlated, and it all relates to gut. And if you have a bad gut, then it's hard to do life when you've got issues that are stemming, like, and there's things that I'm going to be working on this next upcoming year because I have allergies and things like that. And so, which it's linked to gut. I have spring allergies and it's linked to gut. So I'm going to be doing a cleanse, hopefully this winter, or early next year, and just doing some things and trying to nail down and figure out some things that I'm having because, yeah, everything, I mean, most things can be linked back to the gut. And so, and I want to perform at the highest level possible. And so, in order to do that, I'm going to look more into the gut and kind of figure some things out for myself. But these were some, like I said, this is like the surface, the floor, and I want you guys to take it, however you need to. But this is not the ceiling. This is just the start. And so, I hope you guys found some things that you could take and learn from. And so, yeah, thanks for letting me share.
That was amazing, Michael. I have a whole page of notes. I
Let's
took
go.
the back of my favorite book on health. I shared it in the chat a couple weeks ago, the Health Bible,
Oh, yeah.
the Bible Health book. And it's a page in the book now.
Let's go.
Oh,
Thank
your
you.
words. That was
I'm glad to
so
hear that.
good. It does
Thank you
so
so
much
much.
to be cognizant. Yeah, you're welcome. You did a great job. It does so much to be cognizant of what my sleep does in my health, in my gut health. What does it do for me? What does taking a walk do for me? What is drinking milk or orange juice? What is it doing for me? Why is it helping me? You know, to know that that supports my sleep, that's crazy. To know that it supports my energy, that's amazing. And that has to do with my gut.
Mm-hmm.
So cool. And I love how you said, so that was really interesting what you said in the beginning. The lymphatic flow that takes place at night in your sleep washes over your brain, your cerebrospinal fluid, which is like one of my favorite words when it comes to the body. It's so hard to say, but it's the coolest.
Genuinely.
Um, but it washes through the brain and it cleans everything. What? That's just amazing. And in order for us to support that, we have to do the things during the day to make it happen.
Uh-huh.
And I know so many people who just have poor sleep. So I'll definitely be sharing this full recording with them.
Let's go.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any thoughts or questions?
Yeah, I
Concerns?
just want to say thank you, Michael, for doing all that research, man, and putting together an awesome delivery of all that information for us. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks,
I can tell
Frankie.
you took the time to do your research, and yeah, it's kind of simple, but it's also like usually the truth is pretty straightforward, but we don't do the things that we know we should do sometimes. Like, oh, I should go to bed at that time, but it's just the basics, right?
Yep.
That's what I took out of it. It's just yeah, it shouldn't be rocket science. Just be intuitive, get enough sleep. You know, competition. I thought that was a cool one. Interesting that increases your energy as a guy and
Mhm.
as a woman, but also like testosterone levels and yeah, just the more you know. Just would have never thought about it that way.
Yeah, that one's super interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
there's like a
think
spark. Sorry, go ahead.
I took lots of good notes. I
Let's
just
go.
appreciate it.
Yeah, I think one thing is definitely having fun is another thing that can reduce stress. Because you said competition, and I was thinking about like all the times I've like just gone out and had fun, like fun
Mhm.
competition, uh, like playing basketball or something with friends or playing a sport, and then I just get like really into it, and I just want to either win or just be the most silliest person on the field. So whichever one,
Literally.
I feel like after getting like leaving the field and like going home, I feel like wow, this is really fun, and like I feel really good. So I
That's
think those are
so good.
definitely, yeah, I think those are some good things to like reduce stress and also increase gratitude, happiness in general. One thing I do also is I implement for the past 2 months I've implemented walks throughout the day. So because I work corporate job, so that's like you're chained to a chair for 8 hours, and I'm someone that can't sit for more than two
Mm.
minutes. So I have to like either get up, go maybe walk to a different room, or I'll usually just like walk for 10 minutes. I'll like take a break and just go outside and walk for 10 minutes and come back. So yeah, it's
Wow.
definitely good to implement moving into the schedule. But yeah, that was really good. I definitely the one I was most surprised about was competition. I never thought of that.
Yeah, that's so good. That's good. I looked this up just now. It says it's super because I've heard about this before and I dug into it just a little bit, but it says that men whose testosterone rose after competition were more likely to smile, make
Mm.
eye contact, and show interest in women.
Oh
Wow.
wow,
That's crazy.
wow.
Wow.
It's like it's definitely true. It's definitely very true
Mm.
for competition's really good for males. I think I think it's the way we're wired. I think we lose a spark if we're not competing.
Yeah,
Um, so
I
I
think a
take
lot of
every
times in
chance I
schools
can
too, they try to omit that from the boy experience, like
for
a little
sure.
boy, because I mean I worked in a after school program when I was in college, and I saw that a lot, like that aspect being shut down, or like, oh, don't compete, like play fair. Nah, like go beat him. Like the kid's
Mhm.
trash. He needs to be better. Like,
Yeah, it gives you drive. There's drive that comes from it. There's all different types of things that happen. Um, yeah, super interesting though, huh?
yeah, it's very interesting.
That's wild. That's the first time I've heard that be connected to gut health, but you connected it through energy. And what you said was energy flows where there is a lack. And when you're in competition, you're pushing for something. So you're pulling from your extra reserves, you know? And so then at night, when you're recovering, when you've replenished your body well during the day, you go to sleep, it's flowing better to the areas that were just depleted. And it makes complete sense. I think that's a really cool connection to pull from. It's like a literal example. How can you implement energy production in your day? Yeah, working out is great. It actually is really good. Working out with someone else who's stronger than you is even better. You know? And
Mm-hmm.
that's gonna push you and it's gonna make you pull from stores that you don't have. Or
Mm-hmm.
sports or whatever work. I think physical exertion competition is a special kind of competition. Um, yeah, I
That's
love
so good. Wow.
we have a wild thunderstorm going on right outside right now. So my internet connection is like going in and out.
Oh yeah.
But if anyone else has, Evelina, please.
No, it's so good. I mean, I feel like I've just been submerging myself in knowing all this and like as well like for me and like the protocol I'm on, like just being a lot more mindful about stress and how it affects the gut. And obviously like that comes back to like prayer and I think like realignment with the Lord and his original design over me and my body and just like coming in agreement to like the fullness of healing that he has for me in that. And so obviously like gratitude, like Michael said, super important for that because it's the opposite, you know, of the negative, like maybe thoughts or frequencies that could be affecting your gut or affecting stress, is being optimistic. And that's also something that I've been growing in. So being a lot more like positive and thankful and optimistic in situations rather than, oh, what if this happens? Just thinking like, well, what if it actually does like happen, you know, like the benefit side of things rather than becoming stressful and worrisome of if something doesn't work out. Um, and so, yeah, I think that's like probably for me, that's probably the biggest thing is just like stress, like being able to grow in that in the way that it has affected my own gut since I was a kid
Mhm.
without even knowing it. So,
Are
Mm.
you reflecting on times in your childhood when you feel you were stressed? Because now as an adult, you understand what stress is, you know, and you can
oh,
identify.
for sure, for sure, 100%. And I think a lot of it too has like gone back. I've done like a lot of inner healing too from like my childhood and like things that just like happened. And so being able to like look back at those moments and being able to recognize things, but not identify myself to those things.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So good.
Mm. I think for myself, I'll be really quick. When I was healing eczema for my body, the reflection on those times when I was younger of like when did it start? What was happening around that time? As an adult, I can look back and notice, oh, I felt silence. I felt like I couldn't express myself. You know, I felt stressed out. I felt powerless or whatever. Um, it's much your power to actually look back at younger versions of yourself and understand what that version of you was going through. And if you were going through
Mm.
that right now, you understand what you would feel like, you know, and if you didn't do anything and how that could affect you. So, and that was instrumental in helping me heal my eczema, really recover
Um,
from the big episode.
well,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah. The biggest note today was that emotions are so connected to the gut. Like our
Super.
life experience are connected to our gut or our health
Mhm.
expression.
Mm-hmm.
So,
True. It's just
Yeah,
great.
it's all linked.
Yeah. It is all linked and like just like the power of our brain and our thoughts and what it can do to
yeah.
our bodies. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
So wild. And I don't they call like the gut the second brain or
Yes.
something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking
I've
about
heard
it
that.
last time.
Uh-huh.
And Luke made this the connection that the gut being
Oh
the second
yeah.
brain is like gut the gut is like the subconscious of the body. You know, it
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
speaks to you before you have cognitive ability to register what it spoke to you. You know, like when you have that gut feeling, that's your subconscious speaking to you. And I've just been digesting that, you know, like he just brought a brilliant idea to the table and I'm like, "Oh my God, that's it. It's what it's doing." And we usually have really good access to that feeling when we're really young, when we're kids, you know, and the older we get, the worse our gut health gets, the more stress we get, the worse our sleep gets, you know, and then our gut feeling, our gut instinct gets dulled down, and our subconscious voice, our internal intelligence starts to get quieter as well. You know, unless we are connected, unless we do remain really good bond with that, with our gut health and with our subconscious. And I think they are inextricably linked. So he
So
made a
the
really
ones
good,
that I have a question.
yeah.
So the ones who, let's say, eat the worst food imaginable, KFC, McDonald's, you name it, right? And and I actually, okay, I'm gonna bring a political figure, Donald Trump. He always says that he always relies on gut instincts. He's like, oh, you know my gut. I always rely on my gut. And but this man eats the worst food imaginable, right? So what do
Genuinely.
we call that? Like, obviously it won't be gut instinct. Maybe his gut is like so disfigured and like all garbage disposal. I don't know. So like, well, who's making those decisions if it's not his gut? If he thinks it's his gut, but it's not his gut.
It's a very good question.
What you're
Uh,
saying for like the food or to make that choice?
If your gut is
well, yeah,
broken
because we're saying
down,
that's the second brain, right? The
yeah.
stomach, the gut is the second brain, right? And if you want to get a deeper access to that and to hear what it's telling you, you want to be as clean as possible. Sleep, work out, have fun, whatever.
No, for sure, for
But
sure.
then if you're eating trash and junk, you kind of your voice is just being more and more like
Well,
hard to reach.
yeah.
No, it's a good point. I'll say two things. Obviously, there's really no way to know because we don't really know. We don't really know him personally. At least I don't think any of us do know him personally. But um, I do know that he doesn't drink any alcohol.
Mhm.
He's completely alcohol free. So I mean, that's huge.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, that's like great. I mean, to think that,
Yeah,
I mean that right there is just like wild. In a really good way. And then also he's I don't know how old he is, 80s now or late 70s. I
Mhm.
don't know how old he is exactly, but I mean, people have testified to this over and over, but he's got, and I don't know why. So this probably doesn't help the case at all, but he's got like extremely high energy.
yeah,
Um, I mean, like talking like rallies up at like 1 a.m. and he's going strong, flying back, and then hitting a rally, later that day. You know what I mean? Just like rally after
yeah,
rally after rally, like just like old man, but
Yeah.
like you wouldn't think it. Like, so I don't know. I think he's just, I mean, I don't know him personally, but I mean, he definitely has drive and he's got something because he
yeah.
does eat junk. He's complete junk,
Yeah, I don't think it's
but
just him either. There's like other people. I mean, people I know in my life
Yeah.
that
right.
are like successful, or I'm not trying to say, oh, you have to treat your body like trash to be successful, but
No,
it is.
but I
I
know
just
other
sit there.
people
I
like
just sit
that
there. I just
too.
look at it. Yeah, I just sit there. and I'm like,
Well,
man, like, can I have
well,
some of
you
your money?
wonder what the potential you wonder what the potential would be.
Yeah.
Like I
That's
Yeah,
I know people like
definitely.
that
Yeah,
too. I know
yeah.
people like that too who are like
yeah,
completely shredded and then are just like total like I mean exactly what you said. But they're actually from looking at them you wouldn't be able to tell that. And then yeah, so it's just like crazy. Like it's hard to tell, but you wonder what their hidden potential would be if they did.
Yeah.
Like you wonder what they're missing out on. Because if
Yeah.
you're definitely missing out on something,
yeah.
maybe it's not outwardly expressed more than other people. Maybe it affects other people more or less, but you're definitely losing out on better sleep, better physique, better mental
Yeah. I
clarity.
was also going to say how crazy it is that how normalized lack of sleep is in our society, especially in American society. I mean, granted, for like the history and like we're like a country of innovation and we invent and we like whatever, but it's crazy that everywhere you go, like online, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
you want to be like Steve Harvey. I don't know if y'all know Steve Harvey, but he's like, there's this one, he used to have a talk show. And sometimes, like off camera, he'd talk to the audience, like giving motivational speeches. And then one thing he'll say is like, if you want to be rich, you cannot sleep. If you want to be rich, you should be sleeping like 3 hours. Like while you're sleeping, like the stock market is making decisions before you, stuff like that. So it's like that's like the kind of messaging that I think a lot, especially a lot of young men hear, and then they go and do whatever they hear, And they're like, oh, like why am I not a millionaire? Why am I not this and that? Like I haven't slept in like 2 days, you know. So
Yeah. I would
I
just
don't
throw
know.
And
back the
genuinely,
question. I would throw back the question of if they got all the good food, they got the food to boost their sleep, to boost their energy, and to reduce their stress. They did the walk, they did the grounding. How much better could they be? Like we know, good or bad, who Donald Trump is on the outside, right? But how much better could he be if he had these advantages? What
Or
the
maybe
advantage he
it's
does have is
yeah.
experiencing McDonald's and all those fast food chains when they just started,
Mhm.
when they were using tallow, you know,
right.
and
Right.
when beef organs were at the on the typical American dinner table, you know, in the evenings. Like that was a normal thing back in the
Mhm.
50s and like all the way to the 70s. I think it just became like a taboo thing.
Yeah, maybe
But
Mm,
because
he
you're
was
like
still alive
you're so
when,
misaligned with your body. Like
yeah,
when you do that kind of stuff, it's going to be harder to get to success. But if you treat your body with care and honor and respect, then those things just come to you. Not only you have to sit on the couch and do nothing, but like you put something intentionally, you make an intentional action, and then it comes to you, with all intent. Does that make sense?
yeah, yeah.
that's
And I think
good.
you can still work hard and get accomplish things. But like you look at Donald Trump, could he make better decisions? Yes, right. Even as he is right now, he could be a better man. Could he be a better man with a good diet, good sleep, good energy involved in the sense of like not degrading his body with his actions? And I know um he has good people on his side right now in this term that are actually helping him improve certain things. Like, yeah, they didn't turn his health around. He still eats McDonald's and all that stuff. But there are improvements that he is making. He's learning late, but I think he grew up in a society that wasn't as junked up as
Hmm.
it is today. So that could have set him up better. Like they say that people who are like
Right.
70 and older, the reason they're just up and going and have like better energy than most 20-year-olds is because they grew up in a world that was a lot less polluted. And so that set them up to build their bodies, like to develop in their developmental years. They were stronger and that sets them up for later in life. And that's why
No, it's so
us
true. It's
devoting
so
ourselves
real.
to like being healthy, having good sleep, and all these things, we might be where he is at 70 years old if we keep it up, but it's because there's a lot of things working against us in 2025
That's
that
such a
weren't
good point.
that weren't the case back in 1950 or
Yeah.
whatever time frame.
That's such a good point. Wow.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah,
has
I
a lot
even
to
know.
do with it.
I even seen it in my grandparents personally, both sides.
Yeah.
My both my grandparents. My grandpa worked on a farm growing up, drinking raw milk, feeding cows. Like, grew up on a farm in New York, riding motorcycles. My other grandparents grew up. My grandpa was working at like age 13. My grandma was like on the farm till she like got married, drinking raw milk, and it's kind of that thing. It's like they're not like we've done the research, and so we know how bad these things are, but they weren't always that bad. And so like, things weren't as bad. And so yes, there's decisions that are made, they're maybe not as conscious as we are because we've done the research, but they had like those years stacked. They didn't know any better of just like really good healthy food to where um nowadays, like kind of the McDonald's example is really good because it used to be really good. Like imagine tallow and real milkshakes. Like
Yeah.
wow, you
Mm.
know what I mean? But it's
Ice
like
cream machine will never
now,
break.
yeah, and it's like no one ever told them that the ingredients were changing. Like
Mhm.
maybe they saw the prices go up, but if you're not interested in health and you're not like paying
Mhm.
attention to these things, and also the internet's like still very new, so things weren't going around like they do now. So I don't know. There's a lot of things that probably played a part, but I
Yeah. I mean,
think
a lot of
that's a
it's
really good
profit
point.
too, profit cutting costs, like McDonald's. If I don't know if you've seen The Founder with Roy Kroc and the story behind
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
So that was like a good movie to like show like greed and just like how somebody can like go so far to maximize on profit. So they were
that
like,
movie was crazy. Yeah,
yeah, so like they'll instead of like a real ice cream shake, they'll use powder and then put in water and then that's an ice cream shake right there, which is insane. Like to think that.
to
Or
cook
even I heard too,
house.
like Chick-fil-A, like they put in the grilled chicken, like you think you're healthy when you get the grilled chicken sandwich. And then I think my sister told me that the black marks, right, that looks like it was grilled, is actually fake and is like paint. So they
And
just
Oh
they
like,
my
think
goodness.
the chicken has like 40 ingredients.
yeah,
You think you're eating chicken, but it's like milled up whatever else, and then they make it look like chicken. Like what? What
yeah,
did
So
you say?
sad.
Yeah. What chicken
So
has 40
sad.
ingredients?
That's just crazy. It's so sad.
yeah.
Yeah, we could go into that further. It's just sad in all aspects. Oh,
Yeah.
especially for Chick-fil-A. The other
Talk
places I can
about
see, but
we
And
should
I'm
do
not Chick-fil-A, man.
a conspiracy month and talk about fast food restaurants.
yo, oh my goodness.
I'll bring
Yeah.
Kaylin in the chat.
Yeah, Kaylin, my sister, would go crazy for that. Yeah.
Oh my
Do
goodness.
conspiracy month. I think we talked about that at the retreat.
Oh, imagine. Yeah, I probably wouldn't be able to record that call.
Yeah,
Just
we
kidding.
cannot.
Might find ourselves in Rumble or something.
Genuinely. We're sending a different link. It's like the dark web. It's not the same link.
We're meeting on Tuesday, actually.
It's
No,
not Wellness
literally.
Mavericks, Darkness Mavericks.
Tuesday at 3 p.m. at 3 a.m.
That's good. Y'all, we're
So
over the
sad.
1 hour mark. Thank you so much for joining us again and
It's,
talking so much good stuff. Frankie, it's so good to see you. Has been a while.
Frankie.
It's good to see you guys. I haven't been on these like I should be, but miss you guys. I love
I've been
this.
seeing Frankie in person.
Yeah, that's no matter.
We've been going out, dude. It's been fun.
The-
Took him to the
Frankie and
airport
I-
this week. You're welcome.
Frankie, my
Hey, that's
man.
what friends are for. Airport drive.
Yes,
Forget
dude.
the Ubers.
I drove you to the airport, Gemma.
You did.
Yeah, that's
Yo,
crazy.
Frankie's the
That's
plug.
Dude, I'm the
And he
guy
drove
for
me.
the airport chauffeur.
I know. Well, I live right by the airport here in Houston, so when y'all come in, I'll be picking you up right there.
Perfect.
Let's
Perfect.
go. Let's go.
I think Frank has driven every single person in this room.
Oh
to
my
the
God,
airport
he drove
before.
you too.
I drove you to the airport, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's so
Evelina,
funny.
you're up next.
Evelina, you're next.
You gotta change your profession, Frankie.
Oh, dude.
Yeah,
Just
we gotta
drive
get you Uber sticker.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Should be a
we
Lyft
get the
guy.
Frankie Uber.
Um,
Change your sticker on the back of the
Frank's
truck.
driving.
Oh my gosh.
Private
Frank's
protection.
driving service.
All right, guys.
Oh, man.
Good
That's
to
so
see
funny.
y'all. See you next time.
Have
See
a
you
great
guys.
week,
This was
everybody.
fun.
Thank you, Michael.